Hello and welcome back to my channel. Dinar and Dong updates. Are we on the brink of a currency revolution? The Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong revaluation may be imminent. For years, a dedicated group of investors has remained hopeful, patient, and persistent, waiting for what could be one of the most significant financial events of our lifetime: the revaluation of the Iraqi Dinar, IQD, and the Vietnamese Dong, VND. Whether you've been following this story for months or have been a long-term holder of these currencies for over a decade, the latest developments suggest that something monumental may finally be unfolding. What was once considered little more than a financial fantasy by skeptics is now gaining traction among financial insiders, banks, and global institutions. There are mounting signs and credible chatter pointing toward the real possibility that a revaluation is not just coming, but is right around the corner. And the implications could be truly life-changing for those who have believed in this opportunity from the beginning. A surge in global buzz. Why now? The current wave of excitement isn't based on idle speculation. What we're witnessing appears to be a well-coordinated movement of banking institutions, global financial systems, and behind-the-scenes insiders, all seemingly gearing up for a major monetary event. In recent weeks, multiple sources close to banking operations have reported quiet but significant changes taking place. From shifts in bank procedures to new training programs and operational upgrades, the financial industry appears to be preparing for an influx of currency activity. Notably, whispers have surfaced linking Chase Bank, one of the most prominent and globally connected financial institutions, to actions that hint at their awareness of and preparation for a potential revaluation event. This is not the kind of activity that major banks undertake on a whim. These are regulated institutions with compliance departments, legal oversight, and stringent protocols. If they're making moves, it's not baseless. It suggests there's substance behind the scenes, and perhaps a very short runway ahead of a takeoff. Chase Bank's alleged involvement. Among the most eye-opening reports are those involving J.P. Morgan Chase. According to multiple unverified but consistent accounts, select currency holders have allegedly received communications from Chase employees congratulating them in advance on a forthcoming revaluation. Such messaging from a major U.S. bank would be nearly unprecedented if untrue. More importantly, there are also indications that Chase is restructuring certain departments, retraining staff, and upgrading branch capabilities in key regions. All of this could be seen as preparation for a high-volume event like a currency redemption surge. If even half of these reports prove accurate, they point to a strategic readiness for something big. Chase Bank is not a regional player. It's a financial behemoth with global reach, close ties to the U.S. Treasury, and deep connections across international banking networks. Any signal from such an institution should not be taken lightly. If they are adjusting their operational infrastructure to accommodate this kind of activity, it could be a strong confirmation that the revaluation isn't a theory. It's a plan in motion. Inside bank movements. Quiet preparation for a major shift. Numerous insiders have suggested that banks are quietly undergoing extensive changes to prepare for what could be a massive shift in foreign currency activity. These changes reportedly include system upgrades for faster and more secure processing, enhanced security protocols, staff retraining specifically in foreign currency redemption procedures, redesigning select branch layouts for high-value transactions, confidential planning of redemption centers for IQD and VND holders. If true, these preparations are not ordinary. Banks don't simply commit resources to speculative ventures. Their actions are deliberate and highly calculated, typically based on privileged information or high-level briefings from regulators and central banking authorities. It's also worth noting that internal security is reportedly being tightened, with some banks asking employees to sign non-disclosure agreements regarding new procedures. Such secrecy adds another layer of intrigue and urgency to this unfolding situation. What a revaluation could mean for holders. Let's talk numbers. Although there is no official rate or timeline confirmed, speculative estimates about the revaluation place the Iraqi dinar at potentially 2 times to 3 times its current exchange rate. The Vietnamese Dong is forecasted to double or possibly even triple, according to some optimistic projections. While these figures remain speculative, even a modest revaluation could have profound effects on those holding substantial quantities of these currency. For example, someone holding 10 million Vietnamese Dong at an exchange rate increase of 2 times could suddenly see a portfolio worth twice its original investment in a matter of hours. But it's not just about the money. This could be a truly transformative moment in people's lives. Paying off debts, funding retirements, launching businesses, or building generational wealth. And because of the potentially short exchange window, those who are prepared in advance will have the upper hand when it comes to execution. Steps you should take right now. If this scenario unfolds as anticipated, you'll need to move quickly, but also wisely. Here are a few essential steps to prepare yourself. 1. Inspect your currency. Ensure your IQD and VND notes are clean, undamaged, and authentic. Counterfeit or defaced notes may be rejected, particularly for large exchanges. 2. Gather documentation. You may need to provide government-issued identification and, in some cases, proof of purchase. Have your documents ready to verify ownership and the legal acquisition of your currency. 3. Contact financial institutions. Begin reaching out to your bank to understand their procedures. Some banks may allow you to pre-schedule appointments or provide guidance on the process. 4. Create a financial plan. Not all your currency should necessarily be exchanged at once. Create a tiered approach for immediate, short-term, and long-term cash-outs. Consider taxes, investments, and savings goals. 5. Stay alert and aware. With major events like this, scammers will be on the prowl. Only deal with verified financial institutions. Be cautious about who you trust and always double-check sources. 6. Consult professionals. Don't go it alone. Engage a financial advisor, a tax professional, and potentially a lawyer to ensure your assets are handled properly and that you're maximizing the value while staying compliant with laws. The bigger picture. A global ripple effect. This isn't just about personal wealth. A currency revaluation on this scale could send shockwaves across the global economy. Depending on how the revaluation is structured and rolled out, it may affect inflation rates, other emerging market currencies, and even influence interest rates and monetary policies in developed countries. If the revaluation leads to a sudden surge in wealth for a large group of holders, it may also result in shifts in market behavior, such as increased investment in real estate, technology, or startup ventures. This could have a ripple effect across industries, economies, and even politics. There is also the geopolitical element to consider. A successful revaluation of the Iraqi dinar could mark a major turning point in the country's recovery and reintegration into the global economy. Similarly, a rise in the Vietnamese Dong's value could signal Vietnam's growing economic clout in Southeast Asia. Why the secrecy? One question that often comes up is, why is all of this happening so quietly? Why hasn't the mainstream media reported it yet? The answer is simple: timing and control. Financial institutions, central banks, and governments understand the immense consequences of premature announcements. A sudden public release without the systems and infrastructure ready could cause panic, market instability, and even security risks. That's why information is tightly guarded. Only when the institutions feel completely confident and ready will they greenlight a public release or a full-scale rollout. Until then, the whispers and behind-the-scenes moves will continue, subtle but powerful. From speculation to reality. What was once dismissed by many as a conspiracy theory is now edging closer to mainstream acceptance. With major players like Chase Bank allegedly getting involved, the narrative is shifting. No longer is this just a niche dream. It's becoming a financial strategy that could rewrite personal and national fortunes alike. The patience of IQD and VND holders may finally be rewarded. While nothing is certain until the trigger is officially pulled, everything we're seeing, staffing changes, infrastructure preparation, secretive planning, insider reports, indicates that we're nearing the end of this long journey. Whether you've held on quietly for years or just recently learned about this opportunity, the next few days or weeks may be critical. Get your ducks in a row, make your preparations, and stay informed. Final thoughts. We may be on the edge of a once-in-a-generation financial event. The revaluation of the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong could change lives, reset economies, and shift the global financial order. For those who've kept the faith and stayed the course, the moment to act could be just ahead. Stay grounded, be smart, and most importantly, be ready. If you found this update helpful, don't forget to share it with others who might benefit. The world may soon look very different, and knowledge, as always, is your most powerful currency.